Welcome to another day with Jesus, a daily devotional podcast to help you walk with Jesus, live for Jesus, and represent Jesus. Now let us open our heart to receive as Pastor Preji shares from the heart of God.
Good morning and greetings in Jesus' precious name. Welcome to this beautiful new morning that you have entered with God. You're not alone. You're not without help. You are not an orphan. You are not somebody who has to fend for yourself. You are a child of God. You are being cared for, being provided for, being protected by God Himself. The Bible promises us in Psalms 110 verse 5 and 6 that the Lord stands at your right hand. Why? To protect you. Do you believe that today, in spite of what you're facing, what you're looking at, what you want to solve, all the things that need to be taken care of, that God is in fact standing at your right hand, and He is there to help you, He is there to protect you, and He is there to sustain you in this entire season of life. Now we know that God has given us so many amazing promises in His Word. The best one of those promises that we can relate with is the promise of His presence with us. And here it says that this is why He is by our right hand. This is why He is standing next to us. It is to protect you. You know, in the Old Testament, in the first 5 books of the Bible, you would see this promise that God is giving to the nation of Israel, and He tells them, I'm going to go ahead of you. I'm going to be your rear guard. I am going to protect you from every dimension, not just in the direction that you're traveling, but even in the direction where you're blinded, where you're not watching, where you're not careful about. Even in those areas, I am going to protect you. I know that we are all preparing for a new year, a new season, a new phase of our life. Can we depend and rely on this one promise that God is giving us this morning? And He says that He is going to stand on your right hand. And because He's going to stand on your right hand, He is also going to protect you as He stands by you. And it goes on to say that He will strike down many kings when His anger erupts. He will punish the nations and fill their lands with corpses. He will shatter heads over the whole earth. This is the destiny of anybody that stands in the way of who God is making you to be. If there are nations that will come in the way of your destiny, if there are kings that will rise up to fight the assignments that you have, if there are heads of state, heads of home, heads of different companies, wherever you are working or studying, they try to rise up against you, to fight you, the Bible says that God is going to shatter them, that God is going to disperse their corpses. You know, when I'm saying this, please try to understand the spiritual picture behind this. I'm not asking you to pray or expect a physical bloodbath. I'm not saying that our battle is against physical people or with flesh and blood. You know, our battle is against spiritual powers, principalities that is functioning behind the flesh and the blood, that is trying to cause us pain, that is trying to cause us anxiety, that is trying to cause us to be divided, that is trying to cause us to be away from God. We have to fight the spirit, those weapons, those territorial principalities that are working constantly against our walk with God. And the Bible says, because God is on my side, because He is standing at my right hand, and because He is here to protect me, with the strength of God, with God's presence in my life, we are going to strike down kings. When the anger of God erupts, things are going to go haywire. There is an extent to which God is going to overlook certain injustice. There is an extent to which God will allow some amount of challenges and problems. But when His anger erupts, so this morning I am come to tell you that the season for the anger of God to erupt over your enemies is here. This next season, you are going to see and hear and witness the anger of God erupt against your enemies, against those kings and those nations and those people and every principality that is trying to fight the purposes of God against your life. May the anger of God erupt against them. Not human anger, not soulish vengeance that you and I usually crave for when somebody hurts us, but a divine anger, the anger of God, because He is very possessive of the people that He is leading. He is very possessive of His children that He is protecting, because He is very intentional to cover them, to stand by their side. Only if we would be aware of what He is doing and acknowledge that and give Him space in our life on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, welcome Him in. Welcome the angels that are assigned to protect you. Welcome the sword that is about to take the head of the enemy. Welcome that blessing that is going to overturn all the curses of the enemy. Welcome it and just acknowledge it rather than acknowledging the fear and the challenges and the circumstances you're surrounded by. May this be a new season for you. May this be a season where the anger of God will erupt against your enemies. May this be a promised word for the day ahead and especially for the season ahead. God bless you. We will catch up again tomorrow morning.
We hope you are encouraged by today's podcast. To know more about Pastor Preji or other resources you can avail, or to receive help in any specific area, connect with us at pastorpreji.com. And don't forget to register for Revival Dreamers 2021 at dreamingrevival.com/2021. Hurry! Limited seats available. Register now. We wish you a Christ-filled day ahead.